Greetings. This is Arvette McLean of Speak, the Universe Listens.
We cherish that. We love that particular piece of it because
teach people like, hey, it's okay, change.
New ways to view age-old challenges. Change your thoughts, change your life. Step into the bigness of you.
And welcome to today's episode of Speak, the Universe Listens. And today's topic is, it takes a village. And I have Teron joining me, hey. Rodney, and Stephen. Hey y'all, how's it going?
Good. All right.
Yeah, good. So this is like our little village. Yeah, so oftentimes when we talk about elevating yourself, elevating your consciousness, it's almost like it can be like a solitary type of experience, and it's more important that you do it for yourself than for you to try to get other people to do it. And so we spend a lot of time, all of us spend a lot of time kind of studying and figuring out ways and practicing ways to elevate our consciousness. But now we're talking about the village, the role that the village plays in it. So what do you have to say about that?
I think the saying that it takes a village it rings true, but I think never in the way that we always thought of it. I think it does take a village. I think sometimes, you might get in a place where you're just struggling to get over one little hump and you know what to do, but you might just need somebody to talk to get you there. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where your village comes into play at. Because a lot of times you find yourself knowing exactly what it takes, having all the tools and just can't get there yet. And you just need a little extra push.
So I think like the village is basically what you make, because if you're a positive individual and everybody around you know that you're a positive individual, you rub off on them. So what you were just saying, it's like you may have your moments as to where you need that motivation, you need that push. Well, your village, and they sit back and they see that, and so they build you up. So it's almost like you become contagious to the people that you're surrounded by, and you sort of build them up, and then before you know it, you build a whole community of positive people.
Yeah, I like that you use the word contagious too. I think it's important because we want to keep breaking those regular thoughts that are used like negative words. And I think contagious is always thought of like a negative word, but spreading things can also be positive. You're spreading positivity. There's nothing wrong with being contagious and positive energy.
Well, I know that this podcast, the people on the podcast as well as the people in the audience have really been a village for me, because we've been doing this for 4 years now. Oh, wow. And I want to say we've never missed a week, ever, which is bravo. Yes. We've been doing the pandemic, doing travel, doing everything. We never missed a week. But I think that just the whole process of knowing that we're going to show up every week, it causes me to stay in study, and it causes me to keep expanding and keep expanding and keep expanding. So I think that's just one of the ways that villages help.
I even say, like, on our days as to where we don't talk to each other, we always talk to each other at least once out the week. But I always find a day as to where I take that time out to meditate. And even though I know I got this one specific day, I'm gonna be with the team, we're gonna meditate. But I make sure that I take other days as to where it's like, you know what, let me get into my meditation state, real quick. So yeah, that's part of the village.
It's funny. During the pandemic is when I really realized how
important this village is right here, because we wasn't seeing each other. And we wasn't meeting up, like, and just having the off-camera dialogue and just the talks. And I realized how important those were to me, throughout my days and stuff. So yeah, that really made me realize the importance of a village at that time.
I think another important factor of having a village is the power of group intention and group meditation. I think it said that when it's a group of 8, I believe, when you have like a group of 8, that you all 8 people focus their intentions on one thing, then it happens exponentially. And I think just having that knowledge is important. So you definitely want to always keep a village around you, because if you guys even have similar like-minded goals, it can just change lives instantly.
Yeah, so as many of you may know, Rodney and Teron, they were like the camera crew. Well, they really weren't the camera crew, but that's what they served as far as the podcast went. But they really, got their whole marketing business and all of that. But they did the cameras for us. So, with the first 2 years, first 3 years.
Mhm.
Yeah, the first 3 years. And you don't realize how much information, you guys were just soaking it up, because when you guys came to the table, we were at Wintergreen, right?
Mhm.
And they were just dropping the knowledge, and I'm just like, okay. I'm like, y'all need to be on the show. They're like, let me think about it. Okay. Yeah, but it just goes to show that, like, just being around, like you say, like-minded people, and people that's kind of thinking about the same things that you want to think about, that you want to talk about, is just so helpful.
Then you can even feel, your energy change when you get around certain people. Like when we come here to record, my whole energy, gets different. Like I feel a little better, no matter what happened throughout the day, because I'm coming into my village.
I feel the same way too. Like when we come here and we meet, it's like, yeah, we're ready to see the crew.
Even on
Like,
Zoom.
Yeah, even on the
Even on
Zoom.
Zoom.
Yeah.
Well, I honestly, I have a moment of reflection. I sit back often and I think of how important this village is, because, as things get challenging in life, you tend to think about who you're going to turn to. And it's nice knowing that I'm turning to a group of positive energy people who are constantly challenging me to challenge the common thinking. And that's just what I really enjoy about this village, honestly. It's like no matter what the emotion is, I never sit in it too long, because you guys always make sure we're crafting nothing but love on top of everything. Honestly.
Sometimes you don't be wanting to hear the good stuff.
Yeah.
But you gotta turn to the people that's gonna give you that, instead of the people that's just gonna listen to you and be right with you, ready to rumble.
One of my great friends, any slight that comes my way, she's ready to go. Right, and so of course I love that.
Yeah, we all live around.
Yeah, we say to ride or die,
Yeah.
But I also love, the ability to switch and, to be back into a space of love and non-judgmental, and looking at whatever the situation is from my highest perspective. So yeah, I like to ride or die. But I also like to be able to be called back and say, okay, now look at it from the highest perspective.
The funny thing is it's like we know what we're supposed to do even when we feeling the way about something. But sometimes we still bring it, because you need to get it off.
Right.
You need to hear your village say, well, you know the dude.
Yeah. Goodness, yeah. Oh man. I definitely think it's important. Sometimes you gotta let it go. I think everybody needs a moment to just let it go. But it's always important to have those people that's gonna help you bring it back in. So yeah.
I know for us in general, anytime, I know I had moments as to where I talked out of it, and, I don't know it all, but she'll sit back and she'll tell me something, and I sit back like, I ain't think about it like that. Like, you're right. You're right. I was like, okay, you brought me back real quick. So, yeah, it's good to have those type of people in your village. village, and like I said, creating your village, and when you create your village is going to create more like-minded people.
And I can just speak like for this group. You guys inspired me so much. So Teron always tells us about the little jewels that he's dropping around, and you know, and I think it's just so beautiful that you shine wherever you are and you're conscious about it, you know. And then like Rodney, one of the things he's doing right now is, you know, setting up a venue where he can donate turkeys and stuff. And I'm just like, you know, of course, plenty of people think of that, but like for him to think of that, it makes me say, well, what can I do? And then Steven's always telling me stories like how, you know, people will pay for his food in the line. And I'm like, what kind of energy must he be radiating? For this to happen on such a regular basis with people like, I paid for, your coffee is already paid for.
All the time.
You know, and I just think that's just so amazing. So that's like the wonderful thing about, you know, having a group of people who surround you. It's like everybody motivates you to do a little more, be a little better, step into a higher space.
Yeah, I'll be honest. You guys definitely, I think the greatest thing that I love of all of you is you guys hold me accountable in my dreams. I've never said something to you guys and it not be brought up in casual conversation, and it's a constant thought on my mind because of it. I've never said something and not come back later like, hey, well, what happened with this? And now suddenly I know that I have that support. And where it might get a little difficult, it's like, no, but somebody's listening, somebody cares, and they're pouring their energy on it too. So thank you guys again for that, honestly.
And the power of having a group where nothing seems impossible. Like, we never said what we want to do, and somebody like, well, how you gonna, you know what I'm saying? That's,
Right.
That don't happen here. Anything any of us want to do, it seems possible in this group.
I'm having a deja vu moment. I really feel like I've been in this exact moment before.
Well, we actually, this is just so much love, guys. But everybody, if you don't have a village, get you one. And if you don't have anyone to get, you know, we're here, be a part of our village. I know you already are, but you can actually reach out to us, and, you know, and of course we'll embrace you and be a part of this. But honestly, you know, it could be anybody. Just, it could be one other person that you're bouncing ideals off of, someone that you can just talk to, and you know that when the push comes to shove, they're gonna hold you up to your highest. And I think that's just the beautiful thing about having a village.
What would you say to someone that says, yeah, I just don't have no friends, or my friends, they not positive, like somebody that's looking for a village but don't know how to go about obtaining it?
I mean, well, I guess these days, social media.
Yeah,
You know, like I say, you can easily reach out to us, but, you know, just any type of venue that's like this, or any type of platform that's like this, you can reach out and start communicating with the people on those platforms. If there are any books that you typically love, particularly love this type of author or whatever, you can reach directly out to the author or even to the publisher. So like Hay House is a publisher that just publishes nothing but books that talk about this. And so we reach out to the Hay House publisher, they can just connect you with all kinds of resources and things like that. So yeah, that's what I would say. It's if you ask, you can put it out in the universe, you get an answer, you kind of get guided to where you want to go. And I know for me, that's a good question, because for me, for a long time, I always kept my circle like really, really small. And when I started, I guess, branching out, it was scary for me. Like, I didn't know how to branch out, and when people are like, you know, let's do something, I'm thinking, why? You know, what do you want? What do you want from me? So I know that there may be people who are hesitant about stepping out into the world, but you can just put that in your vibration that I'm ready to step out, and things will start to come to you.
Just take a chance. Go on that trip. Go on that lunch. You know, something.
Yeah. And what I would say is definitely people of this community seem to be very open and welcoming. I've learned that just from the last few years of doing this podcast. I feel like every guest that we had on, I felt like I built a genuine connection with them even when we were just behind the scenes. So everybody's always welcoming. So don't be afraid and don't feel like, oh, they probably don't want to talk to me, because everybody's always willing to talk and be welcoming. Everybody wants to keep expanding their community and their village.
Right. I'm saying anything. Just you know, if you feel like you by yourself and you know you don't have no friends, you know, social media, sit back and just pay attention to what you're listening to. You know, take in something positive that makes you feel good. And when you pick that energy up, you want to start creating your own village. Like I said before, you want to start becoming contagious, and people don't feel that energy, and they're just gonna gravitate to you. So keep that in mind as well.
And you actually said, you shared a couple, probably like a year ago. But I remember you saying you really didn't have anybody to talk to about this type of stuff. And so how did you end up?
How you get in here?
You know, I ran across you guys. I mean, I think pretty much I just opened up and I started taking in a lot of positive things that was in alignment with what I was thinking and what I was feeling. And then before you know it, you know, Arvette reached out to me. And after she reached out to me, I met Teron, you know, Rodney, and a few others. And that just opened up the doors for my village.
So you just stepped out there.
Yeah, I just stepped out there.
And it was against your comfort zone?
All of it against me.
Yeah.
all of it against it. But I felt good that I actually stepped out of my comfort zone, because if I didn't step out of my comfort zone, I'll still be in that box. You know?
And that's another thing, like she was saying earlier, how we inspire each other, because like just seeing the growth in all of us over there, 'cause that inspires, you know, someone in itself. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for the love. And this is something that you can create, is just a loving village. And it's so important. It does help your growth, help you move to the next level. Again, just having those reminders, setting your intentions in the same direction, having that support system, all of that. So thank you for being a part of our village. And again, if you want to even reach out and become a closer part of our village, come on, we welcome you. You can reach us in the chat, you know, and of course you can always reach me at Arvette McClain on Facebook and Instagram, and also my website is arvettemclain.com. And then you got Stephen.
Stephen, I mean, have words of wisdom. You can reach me on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, you can reach me on Facebook, Rodney Boyd.
You can reach me on Instagram, Teron_Watkins, Facebook, Teron Watkins, and as well as Instagram under Inspired Marketing LLC.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys, and we look forward to hearing from you, and then also seeing you next week. Until then, this is Arvette.
It's Steve.
Rodney.
And Teron.